Film a video.
About what?
A reading wrap up. I've read a few things, man.
I haven't seen you reading that much.
I read every night. For like an hour.
I haven't seen that.
Anyway, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, CJ. I'm being accosted by my husband. And I'm here to do a Sunday Reads catch up. Not a reading wrap up, but we're gonna talk about books anyway. I recently read Paradise by Fernanda Melchor. Can I just be honest with you also for a second? I'm wearing my pajamas under this button up, and I just put on lipstick one moment before filming this video, so it's all a lie. And now I've come clean and we're gonna talk about Paradise again. I buddy read this with Nathan from Nathan's Nook, and I, in retrospect, really enjoyed this tight little propulsive novel. We follow two young boys, Polo and a character who is called Fat Boy. What is his real name? Franco. As they are in this Mexican village and are both desperate to leave their circumstances, but for different reasons. Polo's family is from a working class poor background. He flunked out of school. His familial structures are falling apart because of his grandfather died and his closest cousin moved away. And Franco is this privileged, I think either light skin or he actually is like a white Spaniard in Mexico. He has a lot of privilege but is kind of stuck with his grandparents who want to send him away to military school. So they both find refuge in each other by getting together, by forming a relationship that's centered around drinking, pretty much. They get blackout drunk together every night, and during those sessions, Franco kind of further admits to this obsession that he's developed with one of the neighbors in their little development. The book progresses, everyone's miserable, and Franco comes up with a plot to break in to this woman's house to rape her, basically. All of his fantasizing is sexually based and it's not consensual, so that's rape. Things get to a crescendo and the plan materializes, and it's interesting. Melchor is like such a talented stylist in her writing, and what that style feels like is really like barbed, jarring, painful. This is not a book or a headspace that you want to like drag out and spend a lot of time in. It's definitely something that I'm glad to dip in and out of. But I walked away from this book feeling really impressed at how much she was able to fit into this, and even though it was uncomfortable to read, it was incredibly well done. Like, I can't deny that. I think I enjoyed Hurricane Season more. In my memory of Hurricane Season, it's more of a epistolary novel. Did I say that right? Do you say epis? Do you enunciate the piss in that word? Anyway, I think it's like told more from a chorus of the people of the townsfolk, and it felt a little bit more atmospheric to me, and it's longer. But I really enjoyed this one too. So pick this up if you haven't. Is it still Women in Translation Month? I'm behind on everything, but even if it's not, you should read this book. Got it from my library. I was thinking this would be a good one to play blurb telephone with, because Julie from the Linen Librarian recently came out with a challenge about doing blurb telephone, where you read a book, look at who blurbed it, read one of their books, and then you can continue it as far as you want. It has Yuri Herrera. It also mentions Roberto Bolano, and Samantha Schweblin is on it as well, but I have library holds out that aren't those. So Julie, I still want to get to blurb telephone one day. I also read and finished Love by Toni Morrison. This was so good. This is set on a beach town in America, and we follow this affluent black businessman who makes a name for himself by setting up a beach resort in like the 40s and 50s. And the resort itself kind of takes on this legendary position in the community and kind of gets narrated from as well. And it's like a place of refuge for black patrons in that time, when obviously they didn't have many other entertainment and lodging options in America. But also you can see the town's impact of all of the people who are connected to, what is his name, Cozy? Yeah, Bill Cozy's hotel, and see the relationships to not only him, but working through him, the workplace it provided the community. So I think we follow 3 main women: Elle, May, Christine, Heed, Junior, and Vita. So only one of so all of those people were connected to Bill Cozy in different ways. This deals with some really dark themes of grooming, sexual violence, but also is really rooted in this tale of girlhood friendships, and I think that's kind of what is centered the most. It's a little confusing at times when you're trying to trace who is connected to who is connected to who, because there's familial relationships in here too. I already forgot, and I read this a couple of weeks ago, who's related to who, but I think May is Christine's mom, and she had Heed, maybe? But you hear from Bill Cozy's daughter, you hear from his child bride, and it's kind of this very spooky gothic beach town tale. I loved it, and I am so incredibly stupid that I didn't realize there's a narrator throughout this whole book, and it's from someone called Elle, who was a cook for Bill Cozy, and her name is Love. And she's related to Heed the Knight. I love Toni Morrison's biblical character names. She has that strewn throughout all of her work, and it's so impactful and just like bizarro every time I read it. But I really, really enjoy her characterization, her prose, sense of place in this. I think this is a pretty underrated Morrison, and I would encourage you to pick it up if you liked like Sisters by Daisy Johnson, for instance. It's like, or We've Always Lived in the Castle. It's very much in that vein. It's a gothic kind of weird ghost story almost. So those are the 2 I've read, right? And I just picked up Aesthetica by Ali Rowbottom. This is out in November by Soho Press. I think I'm gonna buddy read this with Jalen. I got pretty far in it last night. I got to page 80. Very propulsive read. This follows a ex-Instagram celebrity named Anna who moves from a small town, goes to LA. It's set in 2017 and then like 25 years in the future, so it's very funny reading from a 2017 Instagram influencer perspective. She's like a party girl, she's making content, she has this sleazy manager boyfriend. They're kind of getting into some weird power dynamic stuff right now. I'm pretty sure their relationship definitely goes awry, and that's kind of the center of this book. But another center of this book, I would say, is the cultivation of image, of beauty, of becoming this image of, you know, just preposterous perfection and idealized beauty. Our narrator, it flips between 2017 and 25 years in the future, and she's in a hotel, and she has elected to undergo a procedure called Aesthetica, which removes all of the cosmetic procedures she's had done to date. So that's a pretty interesting premise. I think it's kind of gonna be like an arc at her highest point of influence and what it felt like and she achieved as a content creator, and then like maybe her trying to maintain it and like scratch her way back to it and realize that she fucked up and didn't want any of it in the end. Blurbed by Caroline Calloway. That's fucking hilarious. But also the author of Milk, Blood, Heat, T. Kira Madden, who I need to read. Some other smart people. I'm excited to read this, and it is maybe not as like smart as I thought it was going to be and more rompy, but it is like very readable. Writing is nothing to write home about, but I'm like, it's like compulsive, you know what I mean? I want to find out what happens next. And that's Aesthetica. Let me know if this is on your TBR. I think I talked about it in one of my books that should be on your radar videos, you know what I mean? Cool. And then maybe we'll end with like some other things I bought from the library. I have Lapvona, which is exciting. I was gonna pick this up right after Paradise, but I was like, two tonally like very cursed books right in a row, maybe not the best move, so I went something rompy, and I think I'm gonna go to this after. I am excited to read this. I love Moshfegh. It's weird that I haven't read it yet, you know what I mean? But I'm excited. What is this even about? I know it's about a medieval, okay, in a village buffeted by natural disasters, a motherless shepherd boy finds himself part of a power struggle that puts the community's faith to a savage test, in a spellbinding novel that represents Ottessa Moshfegh's most exciting leap yet. Great. I also picked up Trust, which got longlisted for the Booker, but didn't make the shortlist, I do believe. And I really enjoyed In the Distance by Hernandez. This is an author that was a surprise hit for me. Definitely neither of these books are like the subject matter that I reach for, but I've heard nothing but good things. It's like a book within a book. Also doesn't interest me, but if anyone can do it, it's probably him. It is quite big, so I might let this one go back to the library and come back to it when I feel up to a chunky guy, but I haven't. And then lastly, I have Several People Are Typing, which is a novel told entirely in Slack messages, which just conceptually sounds funny. I think like everyone, we are all on Slack constantly, right? Blurbs by Carmen Maria Machado, who says it's an absurd, hilarious romp through the haunted house of late stage capitalism. What a one-liner. I would read this. Maybe I'll get to it. I don't know. You know, romp, not romp, romp, not romp. You gotta break them out. So that's my reading update. We are headed to San Diego this week, which is exciting. We're gonna be like working from an Airbnb there for the week, and then the week after we're going to Joshua Tree for a long weekend with my mom. She hasn't been in a long time, and we haven't been since we moved back, so you know, gonna pal around there. And then the weekend after that, Sunny's first pop-up in Yuma, Arizona is here. That's cool. Merch has been selling real well. I'm gonna do some restock on some of the more reading shirts. Those sold way better than I anticipated, and the cowboy shirts have sold way less than I anticipated. It's always the inverse of what you think is gonna happen, but that's cool. I'm hoping the cowboy shirts sell a little bit more in the Yuma pop-up because they're about Yuma, you know what I mean? We'll see. There's still time to sign up for the October book club for Sunny's. It is Mother Thing, which is kind of a rompy, dark tale about motherhood and familial expectations. I've heard that it's great. I haven't read it yet, but I'm looking forward to reading it alongside you. And reminder, the Sunny's book club Dogs of Summer discussion is at the end of this month, so that is coming up, and I also look forward to that. Join us on Fable if you haven't. It is a really fun app. I think that's all that's going on in my life. I got a new tattoo. Can you see it? It's like 3 people on a horse. Doesn't mean anything to me, just thought it was cool. Steel healing, but that is very big news and exciting for me. Love to get tattooed nearing age 30. It's a great mental breakdown to be having. Cool. Well, we don't have to belabor it, my dudes. See you later. Love you. Goodbye.